Hi guys, hoping that the audio is coming through. This is the second time I'm doing this after a problem. Basically, I'm testing out some new equipment to see if I can do some live streaming occasionally. Little update on the channel though, I'm taking a little bit of a step back from it at the moment. I've been ill for a while, but that's not really the reason. The reason is initially I started this channel in order to learn some videography skills, some stuff about YouTube, so I could apply it in my main business. Channel grew a bit faster than I expected. Became something I was doing for its own sake. Since I stopped doing so much gear stuff, since I left Pentax, things have taken a little bit of a backward step. Lost a lot of subscribers, etc. Doesn't seem as active a channel as it once was. So I'm less inclined to invest loads of energy into it. But that's not to say it's dead. I am going to still make some videos, but I'm just going to make what I feel like when I feel like, rather than trying to feed the YouTube algorithm and grow the channel in the way that I had been doing, to be honest. So coming up, I've got a few videos I want to make. I want to make a video about why I think landscape photography is all crap. A little bit tongue-in-cheek, a little bit honest, to be fair. Got a few books I'm reading at the minute that I'll probably do a book review for. I've got the Tamron Trinity of Sony lenses. May do some reviews on those. I've been using the Osmo Pocket now for well over a year. May do a bit of a review on that. We'll see how it goes. Some of this stuff may happen, some of it may not happen. But I thought, as I'm talking about my channel, maybe it would be useful to give you some recommendations on lesser known YouTube channels that I watch. Some of them you'll have heard of, but I reckon some of them you'll never have heard of, that have useful content for photographers. So I'll take you over to the monitor and I'll show you the channels that I'm talking about. So the first one is T Hopper. Pretty sure that the T stands for Tatiana. She does a series of videos which are about the why of photography rather than the how of photography. One of her more popular series is Silver Screen, which is about actors who are also photographers, which is listed into a list here, but you've got Jeff Bridges, Dennis Hopper, and Nimoy, etc. Quite a lot of people in there. But she's got more videos than just that. It's definitely a channel that you can take some inspiration from, maybe give you some ideas about what you want to do in your own photography. So these channels are in no particular order. This isn't a tiny channel. It's got 43,000 subscribers, which is a reasonable amount, but it's not exactly Tony Northrup level either. So yeah. The next channel is the Tate, which is an art gallery in the United Kingdom. They put together these relatively short videos in which an artist explains their work. It's not strictly photography. It's art generally, but I think as a photographer, you can learn quite a lot from studying other forms of art. I mean, there is some photography things on there, specifically, but yeah, it's definitely a channel worth a browse. And they drop some interesting nuggets in your feed if you subscribe. Excuse me. The next one is That Photography Spot. And by the way, I apologise about the lighting if it's terrible. I haven't brought any in with me today, but I have a 10-foot by 10-foot square window behind the camera, so I'm hoping that's casting enough light for this to be workable. So anyway, That Photography Spot. Photographer called Jess. I can't remember her surname. Sorry, Jess. Does a lot of videos. She takes this channel very seriously. It's got 22,000 subscribers at this point. Quite a well-known dog photographer in the United Kingdom. Does a lot of tutorials on taking action shots and post-processing, things like that. Also does quite a lot of constructive criticism of viewers' photos. Interesting to note that Jess is a judge for a lot of photographic societies and clubs and things like that, so you can get some insight into how judges judge photography from her channel, from her constructive criticism videos. Next channel is The Photography Show. Now, The Photography Show is not a traditional YouTube channel. A couple of years ago, when we had the COVID lockdown and they couldn't do the photography show live, which is normally a conference event, you know, exhibitors, exhibitions, talks, demonstrations, etc. They went online and they did a lot of interviews a lot of videos. They held a lot of these back in their hidden website that you could only access at the time, but then they slowly dropped them onto this YouTube channel. There's a lot of good content here, a lot of interesting stuff to go through. Some of it in depth, some of it light, some of it superficial, but some of it is really good. And not many people seem to know it's here because they don't promote it, they don't advertise it. I think somebody at the Photography Show just thought rather than deleting all this stuff once we were done with it, let's archive it to YouTube. So it's all there, and it's definitely worth having a browse through, see what interests you. Maybe sign some nuggets to add onto your watch later list, or watch immediately, I suppose. Next channel is similar sort of channel. It's the Societies of Photographers. It's one of the bigger professional photography organisations in the UK. Only has 336 subscribers on here. Mainly, I suspect, because they just drop the videos on here so that they can embed them into other sources like websites and things. You'll get a lot of these short videos dropping in, which show the panel of photos that were used to award members certain qualifications, which can be a useful insight into what the standards are, etc. But they'll also drop in webinars. They've got some other stuff over on their Facebook group. You have to be a member to access this. But they'll also drop in some webinars from time to time that can be very useful and insightful. Definitely worth subscribing. Just probably won't watch every video, but you will find some interesting things on there. And now a Sony-centric channel. Tom Carlton, 10,500 subscribers. Does a lot of gear reviews. I like his gear reviews because they strike a good balance between technical gear reviews and real world appreciation of the lens. Directly because of his videos, I chose to buy the Tokina 85 1.8 on Sony rather than any of the 1.8 varieties. So if it turns out to be rubbish, it's his fault. Videos are interesting, snappy, well put together, of a very good standard, and definitely worth checking out, particularly if you are on the Sony system. Now, another gear review channel, Pav SZ. Pav's based in the UK. I don't know where he's originally from, but he's definitely not got a UK accent. He reviews gear, general videography gear, general photography gear, lights, etc. But he reviews lenses on the Sony E mount system and the Nikon Z mount system and on the Panasonic L mount system. His reviews are short, they're to the point, they include lots of images, and they're down to earth. I would definitely recommend a subscription to this channel if you are using any of those mounts. You will find his videos useful and informative without being bogged down in technical detail and dragging on forever. Now, this is a channel that I'm surprised doesn't have more subscribers. Rich Mciver is a commercial photographer based in London, I think, quite clearly from Scotland originally. Videos tend to be quite short, to the point. They've experimental, I would say. They changed the variety a lot. I came across Rich over Christmas because I was doing a photo shoot with a local gym to test some stuff out, and I found Mitch's videos quite informative in helping me work out what I wanted to achieve. I mean, these are a couple of sample images from the shoot in the end, which I'm still working through the editing of. But yeah, I got a lot of ideas from Mitch. To be honest, I didn't really follow his way of doing things, but it did give me some confidence in what I was doing and how I was doing it, etc. Yeah, so I'm currently working my way through those. That's just a bit of an aside, really. But yeah, Rich is clearly a very experienced photographer. There's a lot of useful insight on there. Small channel, only 1.35 thousand subs. Although it's been around for quite a long time. Again, I think he just puts things up when he feels like it, which there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Now, this channel, Rocky Nook, they are a publisher of photographic books. They don't really promote their channel, I don't think. What appears on here is quite erratic. So again, I think there's somebody who films things for their own purposes. Once they've used them, they archive them onto YouTube so they can recall them later if they need to. But there was some interesting stuff in here. There's some, excuse me. There's some stuff about books and things that are on there, some play promotional videos for books, but there's also some incredibly in-depth videos from authors. So you've got this dogtography one here from Kaylee Greer, who wrote a book on the subject, hour and a half. You've got an hour's video on Luminar, some stuff on street photography. I've got this book by Tamara Lackey, waiting to read, about posing children, an hour's webinar with her. Some really in-depth, useful things on there that nobody seems to know exists. This channel, Seth Miranda, you've probably heard of him from Adorama's YouTube channel, which is massive. He has his own channel, which is quite small. Posts in splurges, I would say. You get a load of videos and you get nothing for quite a while. Seth, on Adorama, at first, to be honest, I couldn't really get away with him. I found him quite difficult to understand, a bit snappy and things with the people that he's with, but snappy, not angry snappy, snappy as in snappy talking. When he's on his own, I find his videos much better. He's clearly extremely knowledgeable, really knows what he's doing and knows how to explain it well. Definitely worth checking out his channels. He tends to like to do everything live, so the videos do tend to be a bit longer. So maybe not the place to get a quick bit of information, but if you want to actually watch somebody work and see how they do it, it's definitely worth looking at. I think it shows that he has a great deal of confidence in his own ability, that he will do these things live rather than doing them pre-recorded where he can make himself look perfect. Anyway, definitely worth checking out. Last Ex-Witness. Then we have Lee Iverson. Lee's a Pentaxian photographer. Mainly shoots dogs on a professional basis, and motocross. Two subjects that you would not associate with Pentax shooting whatsoever, and he managed to do a very good job of it. His channel has a lot of vlog type content, gear reviews, and general philosophy. Only at 639 subscribers, deserves to have a lot more. Definitely check him out. So then we have Micro 4 Nerds, just short of 30,000 subscribers, so not a tiny channel. Massive variety of content, mainly based around videography rather than stills photography. The channel started off focused on Micro Four Thirds, hence the name Micro 4 Nerds, but covers an awful lot now. I can't remember the name of the lady who runs the channel, but really, very good channel, very interesting content. I think she is traveling at the moment, and therefore the content is a little bit more erratic than it used to be, but she's very knowledgeable, and definitely worth listening to. This channel is Mick Millerman. Username Scumbot, I've just noticed. Now I noticed that before. Now, Mick is an event photographer and based in LA in the US. Now, I'm sure he probably has done weddings and things, but most of his channel is based around corporate and social events. And Mick really knows what he's doing. He's really knowledgeable guy, very skilled. Insight that Mick gives, so I would definitely suggest that you go check that channel out. I think we may have been disconnected for a moment there, hopefully not, but again, Mick Millerman, event photographer, channel on event photography, very good. Only 9,000 subs, definitely check it out. Then we have Niels Kemp. Niels Kemp Creative is the name of the channel. He is a former Pentax ambassador, current Ricoh ambassador, shoots on Leica as well. Sony, a variety of things. Done a lot of street photography stuff in the past, but his channel is quite varied in content. He will even do things like teach you how to, well, not teach you, but he show you himself making photo frames out of wrought iron. Yeah, it's a varied channel, very much a personal channel, and I think it's going to get more personal as time goes on. Really worth checking out. Very good content generally. Now, this one is an absolute hidden gem. Association of Photographers only has 307 subscribers. So again, I think the archive content they've used for other things to this channel rather than have the channel for its own sake. This series of videos deconstructing the image, there's only 5 of them. Basically, high-end photographer talks through how they made the image, why they made the image, and what they did to get the image. And really in-depth content that I haven't really seen anywhere else. And I'm surprised that they've only got 307 subscribers, and the views on these things are tiny. 245 views, 67 views, 130, 789, 456. Yeah, the content's a little bit longer, but it's definitely worth your time. Dan Prince, this is a podcast channel. I don't think it's active anymore. Some interesting talks on here. Dan is a commercial photographer from the northeast of England, and he's worked with a lot of people, and there's quite a variety of people that he's interviewed on here. As a photographer, I would definitely recommend you check out the Tom Stollard interview from a couple of years ago. I think Dan assisted Tom in his early career and got the opportunity to interview him a couple of years ago. Next channel is another Dan, Daniel Milner, former photojournalist, doesn't like to call himself. So Dan Milner, 11,000 subs, videos on the philosophy of photography, both the business, the actual creation of the work, where things are going, etc. Definitely worth listening to Dan. And then we have Eddie Summers. Eddie Summers Photography. Eddie, I consider to be a friend, although I've never met him. He lives on the other side of the world, but we've spoken many times via Facebook and other mediums. Eddie is a self-taught photographer who has a very good eye for image making. He likes to deconstruct things to the nth degree. Eddie is the only person I know who could make putting on your trousers complicated, but he often comes up with some very good insights into things because of his process of deconstructing how you put your trousers on. So Eddie's channel is definitely worth subscribing to for those odd nuggets of gold that will come out of his mouth that he probably doesn't realise are there. And it's very much a channel with variety on it. I think you could work on his thumbnails already. Anyway. And the last channel I'm going to highlight is one called Keenan Rivals. Keenan is a street photographer from the US. Just a little bit of gear reviews and things like that. A lot of photo walks. Keenan is, I would very much describe him as a true struggling artist. He's definitely in it for the art and not for the glory. Works very good. Has a lot of interesting insights. So if you're into street photography, I definitely think this is a channel that is worth looking at. I'll try and put all the links to the channels that I have covered in the description of this video once it finishes doing whatever YouTube does with it once you finish live streaming. So hopefully we didn't break up too much and that stream was relatively reliable. And I will speak to you soon. Take care.